What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Nitro Gaming. Today, we're going to be talking about the patterns we've been using to make coins ever since Team of the Year ended, because it's been very, very easy to make coins over the last few weeks, and we have to continue to take advantage while it works, because quite frankly, it's not going to work forever. But there have been some patterns, some times to buy and some times to sell, that have worked every single time. And I'm going to show you guys those patterns and some exact players that you guys can be buying today. But first, let's open up this 86 plus times 3. Drop a like on the video right now if you're excited for these investments and if these videos here on Nitro Gaming have been helping you make some coins in Ultimate Team. Hopefully this isn't the highest rated card. Is it going to be a double walkout? It is, and it's going to be 88 rated. I was kind of hoping for a Fantasy FC player there, I'm not going to lie. But let's hop into today's video. Do you need coins in FC25 Ultimate Team? Then go to u7buy.com. It is the quickest, most reliable, and the safest platform on the internet. Big creators use it. It has the best reviews. And if you use my code NITRO, you're going to get an extra 8% at checkout. You can even get specific players you want to add to your Ultimate Team straight from U7buy. And if it's your first time, you'll get a newcomer's bonus added to what you get. Link down below. Fantasy FC Team number 1 is in packs right now until Friday, and then they go out of packs, and then Team 2 comes around. Team 2's honestly looking much of the same with very expensive prices. You're going to have cards like Rodrigo, Rashford, Walsh, Davies, Nunez, Pavard, Fermin Lopez. There's going to be some cards worth millions of coins in this team. And a lot of the reason that we see cards like Marmoush at 3.1 million coins is the fact that he can get upgraded. The fact that he can get playstyles added and Roll Plus is added to the card, depending on if he can get a goal or an assist or a win 2 matches, which in the current form of Manchester City is not guaranteed whatsoever. But 0, cards, 10 club goals, and a couple other long-term potential upgrades could bring this Marmoush up in rating and in value with his stats and play style. So that is a big reason on why these cards are so expensive and why Team 2 is also going to be very expensive. But it also makes it very risky to be buying these cards and waiting for them to go out of packs, because these cards should drop in March. March is going to bring a market crash in a couple of weeks, and this golden generation, the great ages of the market are going to fall apart. We've had such a healthy rise on the market pretty much every single week. It's been super predictable. It's been super easy to make coins. We know that on Tuesday the market's going to rise. We know that on Wednesday today the market's going to come down. And we know that division rival rewards is going to be the time to buy fantasy players. But it doesn't mean that we're going to hold these cards for very long, especially the ones worth hundreds of thousands or millions of coins. Instead, I think the cards that you need to be looking at investing in this team are going to be cards like Philip Billing, who's only 42,000 coins right now, and I think he'll be in the 30s by division rival rewards. I think that's a good investment right there, because you're not looking at too much risk. I think even cards like Sunset could be decent. I think any of these cards that are lower in price, like Saigenkov, could be decent investments. But once you get into the several 100,000 coins range, you're looking at cards that have, one, too much risk going forward into March, where the market normally drops pretty heavily. If we take a look back at previous years, I'll just give you one card, and we'll use a card that was out from before Team of the Year, so you can kind of see how these cards move. But take a look at obviously a very meta Neymar Jr. Look at this daily graph between the months of December, or I guess early January when it comes out. Drops in price for that Team of the Year market crash, goes up after Team of the Year in February, a very good time for the market. And then once we get into March, these cards start dropping. And that's like not an insignificant crash. That card crashes from 5.6 million all the way down to 4.3 million in a week. And then the next week he goes from 4.3 down to 3 million coins. And it's not like he stops dropping. He just continues to go down and down and down over time. And we're expecting that for any of these high-rated, very expensive cards this year as well. I think in March, as we get closer to FUT birthday, and then late March, you start seeing Team of the Season hype build. there's a lot of reason for cards to drop during March. So with these fantasy cards, if you're looking to get one for your team, or you think, okay, if I pick up a Sun now, he's going to be higher rated and more expensive later, you're wrong. He won't be more expensive. He might be higher rated, but he won't be more expensive come March. So let's be very careful with these high budget cards on these fantasy players. But those aren't the only investments that we can make right now. In fact, Team of the Week cards might be even safer because you're looking at cards like Ta, you're looking at cards like Cecilia and Diani. From this team, they're very meta cards and they're very usable cards. This Diani card, we've already started to see a rise from Sunday. Obviously, we've been talking about when to pick up these cards. During Squad Battle Rewards seems to be the time to pick up the Team of the Week cards every single week on Sunday mornings, even into Sunday afternoons. But 30,000 coins was the low point for Diani. She's up to 35,000 and continually rising. These cards go out of packs today at 6 p.m. content. We're going to see Team of the Week 25 or 24. That was 23. Now we're at 24, and you're going to have cards in this team like Salah. Guirassy actually gets the nod from Dortmund because he ended up having 4 goals. We weren't sure if it was going to be Guirassy or if it was going to be Pascal Gross, who also had 4 assists in that match. But Guirassy gets the nod. Salah is going to be in this team. Luka Modric. Wan-Bissaka is going to get the big upgrade. Claude Maurice is going to get a big upgrade, and Nico Paz is going to get a big upgrade. And then you've got cards like Ademola Lookman, Claudio Pina. Honestly, not the worst team. Honestly, not the worst team for Team of the Week. We've had some dead Team of the Weeks recently. This is not going to be one of them, and we love trading with Team of the Week cards, so we're going to make some coins off this team as well. But when it comes to Team of the Week 23, I think you're still getting a decent deal for 17.5K on Jonathan Tah. I still think that Cecilia, this is like the epitome of a card that can be used in an evolution in the future. That is going to be a great investment. This Cecilia will work out. I don't know how long you're going to have to hold because, of course, it comes down to the evolutions that you can use. Right now, you can use those, dribbling boosts and the Fantasy Cup shooting and passing boosts and stuff like that on him right now. But he's got the Rapid Playstyle Plus. He's got 95 pace already. He can play in 4 different positions: center mid, left wing, striker, cam. That's some, versatility right there. And he's got great attacking stats all across the board. 23,000 coins is honestly not a bad shout. He did get as low as 17K, however, but I do think that it's a card that's just going to keep rising. Maybe you can get him for less than 23K today. You might not want to spend any more than this, but a card that has such a big upside. And last week we invested in Rafinha, and this is a card that we got a little bit unlucky on, actually. We're making good coins. We got him for 135K on average, so 135K to 160. We're making like, what is it, 17K per card after tax. We're taking that all day. We'll take 17K per card, and you can sell that whenever you want. But take a look at what happened to the first version of this card. He actually fit into more evolutions during this week, shot up to 250,000 coins because of that Fantasy Captain evolution. So Fantasy Captain shot the 86 rated Rafinha up in price, whereas the 88 rated Rafinha does not fit the Fantasy Captain evolution. So we sit here and we wait on this 88 rated evolution to fit into, or 88 rated card to fit into an evolution. We've seen a nice rise from that 135K that we got this card for. We bought him at the perfect time. He's been slowly rising over time, but take a look at that 86 rated card. He ended up going from 100, about the same price, really. That was about the same price over the last couple weeks. He was a little lower because he is, I guess, 2 ratings lower, but he was 130,000 coins, and he shot up to 250K, almost doubling in price. That's what could happen to that 88 rated version eventually. So I'm not in any huge rush to sell that, to be honest with you. And it also shows you the upside to picking up cards like Cecilia, because that card could fit into so many different evolutions, especially if it goes into an evolution where it boosts its chemistry, because obviously this is a card that doesn't play in the greatest of leagues, being in the K-League, but if he gets into an evolution that boosts his chemistry in the future, that's another reason this card could rise, not just because of stat boosts and play styles. So that's another card that I really like as an investment. Diani could be decent. Jonathan Tah could be decent out of this team. I mean, if you like investing in goalkeepers, I personally don't most of the time, even though we have a couple times this year. You've got Ederson right there, but to be honest with you, I'd prefer Cecina. Now, this week, we saw Team of the Week cards rise from about 12,000 to 14,000 coins when it comes to fodder. Take a look at Allen right here. He's about 14 or 14,250. He got as low as about 12.5 thousand coins, and you can sell those cards for 14 to 15 easily. You could even sell for a little bit more to lazy buyers, but every single week, buying these fodder cards before Tuesday, maybe between Sunday and Monday, buying these cards and then selling them after the upgrade SBCs come out, that pattern continues to work. The 83 plus times 10 upgrade is back out. The 83 plus times 3 of 10 is back out, and it needing the requirement of these Team of the Week cards. It just seems to send them up in price every single week. Now, are you doubling your coins? No, but adding a nice little 20% boost on your coin total every single week just by investing in fodder informs, it's not bad for somebody who doesn't like any high-risk investments. If you don't want to invest in the meta cards that we talk about in the video, then investing in Team of the Weeks when they go down. Now, don't buy these cards until at least after Friday, but Team of the Week fodder cards are a great investment. Now let's talk about fodder in general, because it's still pretty low. We haven't seen much of a rise in the last week or so. 84s are still pretty low. 85s are about 4K, but we have seen a bit of a rise now on some of the higher rated fodder, and that's one of the big reasons we saw Diani go up in price, guys. That 90 rated card right there is the cheapest of the inform cards for 90s, and so that went up with just 90 rated fodder in general. You can also say the same about Ederson, because these 90 rated cards, if we take a look at De Bruyne right there, 34,000 coins, up a little bit in price over the last couple of days. He was about 30,000 coins on Sunday, and then 35K now. We saw a little bit of a drop on Sunday for fodder with those division rival rewards, and that's why we saw Diani at her low point. But some of the higher rated fodder up in price a little bit right now. But if you take a look at some of the big SBCs that we've had out for a little while, we'll look at Bale because he came out during Team of the Year. Where is Gareth Bale? Right here. What we can do is we can actually look at the graph for Gareth Bale himself. And you're like, well, he's not changing in price much. It's an SBC card. It can't go up and down that much, but take a look. Yes, it can. This is a card that was way more expensive to do about 2 weeks ago. He was 3.4 million coins. Now he's 2.7. That is a significant difference in price between the fodder prices. And so we're seeing a lot of fodder cards down in price now. So all of the SBCs that you might have wanted to do during Team of the Year are actually cheaper now. This is a card that peaked at 3.4 million coins worth of fodder and is now back down to 2.7. He was actually a little bit lower yesterday at 2.4 million, but still pretty cheap to do in comparison to what he was. So all of the SBCs are a little cheaper now due to the fodder cards dropping in price, guys. Now that we've talked about the overall market, we've given some specific investments for Team of the Weeks, I think it's time we give specific investments for Fantasy FC and when to sell these cards. Now, we're going to buy these cards during Division Rival Rewards tomorrow morning. That's at 8 a.m. UK time, 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So whatever time zone you're in, just adjust for that whenever Division Rival Rewards drop, and then the hour following that, there's going to be some cheap prices for these cards. Joe Cole, he went up in price yesterday. Take a look at the hype into the match where Chelsea played Southampton yesterday. He went from 136,000 coins. I saw people selling this card for over 150K during the match, but a very significant rise into the hype of that game. And when we take a look at the tracker, of course, he couldn't have gotten the 2-match win upgrade because they didn't have a win yet. That was their first win towards it. And obviously those 4 goals definitely help, but he's not towards an upgrade yet. The next game they play on March 9th might be the time to sell this card, but not during the match, not after the match, before the match is played. You want to buy that card on Thursday during Division Rival Rewards and hold it until that first match is played. And finding cards like that is going to be crucial for your investments. Any cards that can potentially get upgraded even this weekend or in the next week or so. You don't want to wait, a month for these upgrades. I don't know if there's any cards that don't play until like late March, but 8th of March for Aston Villa. Aston Villa also are at, 1 of 2 wins because they lost to Crystal Palace yesterday. So he's at 1 of 2 wins, which means that he's down in price now, 500K. He was lower and he will go lower than that. So don't buy at 500K. He got to as low as 447K, but a little bit of a rebound there. He was 560K, however. Look at the rise that he had into the hype of that match. He went from about a 520 all the way to 560 in price just in the hype of him playing a match. That was it. The hype of him playing a match is what brought him up in price a ton. He'll play again on March 8th, and even though he's not playing a ton, at least he is a forward, so if he does get on the pitch, he could actually get that goal or assist. Either way, we're selling into the hype, so if you want to buy a card like Malen, you're selling that card before his next game on March 8th. Now, you don't want to hold until like mid-March because we know there's a market crash in March, and the longer you hold, the more risky it is. So you definitely don't want to hold until that game against Brighton and Hove Albion on April 1st. We're only holding until that next game, which is just in a little bit over a week from now. That'll be next weekend, so it's only like 9 or 10 days away. So that's not too bad. But you could go with the Fantasy FC players themselves or the heroes. Either one works. Picking these cards up during the Rivals Rewards and selling them into the hype of the next match is absolutely the play that you guys need to make. Look at this card right here. Sunset already getting a playstyle plus upgrade and a playstyle. That's coming for Sunset. He's probably going to get the 2 wins eventually. His next game is on March 1st. So this might actually be better value for us because they have a game every single weekend for the next 3 weeks. So that might be a better value investment for us. It's honestly a usable card as well. At center attacking mid, he's got some pretty good stats with an upgrade or 2. I mean, that's a very, very usable card. So I really like that as an investment right there. That Sunset is very, very good, guys, for the low budget viewers. Baku, let's take a look at him and take a look at the Bundesliga. So let's look at the tracker as well. He has won 0 matches so far because they drew the first one. But again, there's a game every single weekend. Leipzig against Mainz are favorites, maybe not against Freiburg. And, you can't predict a Dortmund game. It's like playing a roulette wheel. But this Baku card had a low point of 67K. And then he has only been rising since then. He'll come back down today. So great time to buy tonight and tomorrow morning for these Fantasy FC cards. That's why I wanted to end today's video with these investments. Saigenkov actually might be a great one because we know that the schedule for La Liga looks good. March 1st against Celta Vigo at home. They are favorites to win that game, though they don't have anything towards the upgrade quite yet for Saigenkov. So Sunset might be the move. Sunset might be the move from La Liga right there. Baku might be the move from Bundesliga. I think he's the only option there. And then Philip Billing. Let's see when his next game actually is. It's going to be, it doesn't say it here because I don't think that they own the rights to Napoli. So Napoli's schedule, they'll play on March 1st against Inter at home. They play against Fiorentina on the 9th at home. So the next 3 weeks for Napoli look pretty good as well. So Philip Billing could be a good investment. And quite frankly, the more I look at it, the less I like the Premier League investments. The less I like Malen because you have to wait longer for their matches. Whereas for cards like Sunset and Baku and Billing and Saigenkov, you don't have to wait as long. So keep that in mind when you're investing in these cards. But that's going to be it for today's video. Please don't forget to drop a like. It helps the video do better. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more of this content. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.